Parents, listen up. This is how fear and misinformation get monetized. A mother recently contacted me in a panic because Instagram keeps telling her about the increase in pediatric brain cancer deaths, and she keeps getting these targeted ads for things that are supposed to protect her children from brain cancer by blocking out EMFs. Let's talk about this. So I'm Dr. Lara Jones. I'm a double board certified pediatric ICU doctor, and I'm also a mom. So pretty much my entire life revolves around the health and safety of children, including my own. It also means that I completely understand that feeling, that visceral reaction you get when there's any perceived threat to your child's health. In fact, never in my life have I been more vulnerable than when I became a mother. And you know who else knows that? The $6 trillion wellness industry. So I want you to hear this message clearly. This information is false, it is misleading, and it's manipulative, and it's designed to convince you to buy things that you don't really need. So in this post, this creator makes this bold claim that pediatric brain cancer is now the leading cause of cancer death in children. You'll notice that despite very aesthetically pleasing slides, there are no references cited. So that's red flag number one. Red flag number two is her credentials. She's not a medical professional. She's not board certified in any specialty. She doesn't practice medicine. She's a health coach. And that is not somebody that you should be listening to get any medical advice from. She does say one thing that is true, that pediatric brain cancer is now the leading cause of pediatric cancer deaths. But she leaves out an extraordinarily important piece of context. The reason that pediatric brain cancer is now the #1 cause of cancer-related deaths in children is not because more children are dying of brain cancer or even because more kids are getting brain cancer. In fact, rates of pediatric brain cancer are declining. The reason that this diagnosis has made it to the top of the list is because kids are not dying from leukemia anymore. Leukemia is the most common childhood cancer, and it used to be a death sentence. But because of rigorous scientific research over the past several decades, the diagnosis of leukemia went from being a death sentence to now a chronic disease that children can live with and be treated with greater than 90% recovery rates. Now let's talk about EMFs, because she makes this bold claim that makes it sound like pediatric brain cancers are on the rise, which is not true. And then she suddenly jumps to EMFs as the cause, which then lends you to be susceptible to advertisements for products that are supposed to block EMFs and reduce the risk of brain cancer. So there's actually been plenty of large studies that have shown that there is no increased risk linked between EMFs and brain cancer. And again, I will cite all my references below. And I promise you, if there was a product that you could purchase that would reduce your risk of getting brain cancer, the pediatric oncology community would be shouting it from the rooftops. This would not be a secret that you find on an obscure Instagram page by a health coach. Remember that this is a $6 trillion industry. There is money to be made by propagating fear and misinformation, by convincing you not to trust medical professionals who have actually dedicated their careers to the health and safety of your children, but instead to trust these uncredentialed, random people who have a lot of money to be made. Frankly, as a mom, this pisses me off because I know how it feels to be scared about your child and want to do anything in the world to protect them. And what scares me the most about this industry is how large it's gotten. $6 trillion. I had to double check that because I couldn't believe it. That's larger than the pharmaceutical industry. This is a behemoth problem. And they're becoming more and more sophisticated. They have these fancy looking profiles and the aesthetic slides, and they make these bold claims, and they make up all of these titles like health coach. They make themselves sound legitimate. So you parents are going to have to be on high alert for BS. As a pediatric ICU doctor and as a mom, I will always have your back, and I will always call out BS. If you found this helpful or you have another topic that you'd like me to discuss, please let me know. Leave a comment below.